Hi guys, it's Numismatic here, and we're going to take a look at the Mexican Libertad and the British Sovereign. And we're going to first take a look a little bit of the history of the two mints and the two coins, and then take a look at which one might be better for a modern day stacker, the Libertad or the Sovereign. Well, the Sovereign was produced and is produced by the Royal Mint that was established in 886 AD. And in fact, the first Sovereign was minted at the Tower of London in 1489. And that early Sovereign was used for almost a century. In 1817, it was revived as a new measure of 20 shillings. And of course, in old money in England, everything was in by 12 as opposed to the decimal system. A shilling was 12 old pence, 5 new pence in today's money. It did replace guineas, and a guinea was 21 shillings. And under some circumstances, payment in guineas is still carried on to this day for things like bloodstock racing horses. Some sovereigns are incredibly valuable. The 1953 and the 1937 sovereign come to mind. This one is actually a patent fetched around $800,000. Sovereigns have been produced all over the world following the British colonial geography and path. So you've got sovereigns from Great Britain, Australia, South Africa, India, and of course Canada. And Canadian sovereigns, a few of the dates were mostly almost completely melted down and destroyed. So sovereigns are available in a variety of different sizes, typically one sovereign, half a sovereign, double sovereign, and 5 sovereigns. A basic sovereign's weight is just under a quarter of an ounce of gold. The 5 sovereign is over 1 ounce of gold, and you often find them either proof or brilliant uncirculated or a bullion strike. So let's take a look at the Libertad now. The Libertad is minted at the Casa de Moneda in Mexico City, and that mint was started in 1551, making it the oldest mint, continuous running mint in North America. And the Libertad itself is really a follow-through from the old gold peso coins and the earlier onza coins, and so that makes the first Libertad slash onza modern one came into being in 1982, and then the one that we have at the moment was dates back from 1996 to the change of design. The gold ones are made of 99939s fine gold, and although I say, and I call them a coin, and I think of them as a coin, the purists will probably say they aren't really coins because they don't have a face value on. They're kind of designed in a different way. So modern gold Libertads are really classified as being a semi-numismatic bullion because they're produced as bullion but in very, very low quantities, and the quantities are pretty unpredictable and variable. And over the last couple of years, Libertads have developed a bigger and bigger collectors following of people who really enjoy both the coin itself, which is very beautiful, but also the kind of story that goes alongside the coin. And it's always quite exciting to see whether you're going to end up with a coin that there are thousands of or hundreds of. So let's take a look at the coins themselves, both the sovereigns and the Libertads, and take a look at some of the different types and varieties and decision making that may be appropriate in trying to make a choice between the two. One of the great things about sovereigns is they can be anything that you want them to be. So do you get them raw, Are they bullion? Do you want collector's coins? Should they be slabbed? You've got a choice of era, everything from some of the really expensive pre-Victorian coins up to modern bullion coins. There's pretty much everything, and every different pocket as well. I think a lot of the fun in sovereigns can be had for not a great deal of money, and I think that the kind of sweet spot, at least as far as I can see, is trying to find the best possible condition bullion coins, new innovations like the India sovereign, the odd Canadian coin, maybe doing a set of different mint marks or different varieties or different heads. Really, you tend to think, well, one sovereign looks the same as any other sovereign, but there's a massive amount of interest and collectors, different types within the whole sovereign range. So you've got proofs, you've got an uncirculated edition, which is like a semi-proof coin, which you get on some of the modern ones. You get bullion strikes. There are some years there are only proofs produced and no uncirculated. And there are some that were produced slightly later, like 1925, but have the same date on them. One of the personal favourites, I guess, I have is shieldbacks and proof sovereigns. But really, anything which is in good condition, I'll take a look and collect them. And the other nice thing about sovereigns is that they are very, very easily tradable. So the bullion ones have a daily price, they're understood, and they're very easy and very liquid to pick up and put down. The collector's ones seem to have a very ready market all over the place. And so the only thing that seems to put people off sovereigns is the fact that they are just under a quarter of an ounce and not in a nice, neat, modern kind of measure like a quarter of an ounce or a tenth of an ounce. And you probably need a spreadsheet to kind of work out exactly what the gold weight is of all these different sovereigns, but it really isn't the end of the world. And it's worth taking an interest. There's a very good book, The Gold Sovereign by Marsh, which will tell you about all the different varieties of sovereigns, which ones are rare, which ones are common. And if you do start to collect sovereigns, then certainly that book is very worthwhile. But you'll find a lot just by looking on places online, at eBay, which really has a whole load of different coins from bullion right up to some very, very expensive proof Victorian or early collector's items. So there really is something for every type of collector and every pocket. The Libertads are a much more modern kind of choice. So they haven't been around quite as long. It's a stone which is gathering moss at the moment. It's worth looking out for proofs quite often, although there are some years where the uncirculated gold ones actually, they minted fewer of them than the proofs, but the proofs tend to be the ones that are slightly more treasured and slightly more available. Most of the proofs came in sets, so a lot of the slab coins you find are sets that have been taken apart. Sometimes there are quarters that were sold outside the sets. For a lot of collectors, condition is everything, although frankly there's not a lot of difference between 69 and 70 on these coins. They're all beautiful, but it's worth looking out for the best possible ones. 2015 over there, 2007 BU quarter, both of those coins have got less than 400 produced. A lot of the ones have got the 2013, there's only 300 of those in the world. 2015 there's 500. The ones that are slightly higher mintages tend to hang around on the dealer's shelves a little bit longer, like the 2011. But all of them are lovely, and the design, one of the things about them is that the design is the same design year after year, and that's something that puts some people off. They like a little bit more variety. but who knows, we might get a new design at some stage fairly soon. So I would say sovereigns are the traditional kind of choice, but strike a balance. Do what I do, which is to have both. Thanks very much for watching this video, and hope that you can find it within you to subscribe and like this.